So if you're in the South Sound of Washington right now and you've heard the real estate market is maybe changing a little bit, this update's going to be for you. Last month I made 3 predictions 30 days ago of what was going to happen. So I'm going to share those with you today. Prediction number 1 was that inventory will slide further. And that happened. Inventory actually went down, and I'm going to show you those numbers in a second. Prediction number 2 was that buyer fatigue was real and that it would continue. And what that means is that people would still be looking for homes, but some people would kind of bow out for the, holiday season. And that actually happened as well. And prediction number 3 was that the average price in Thurston County and the surrounding area would go up again. And it did. But it's not because I'm super cool or I know everything and I'm a know-it-all. It's because I look at the data. The data tells a story. So I'm going to share the rest of that with you right now. So that first prediction, inventory will slide as a measure of the amount of new listings coming on market. And as you can see, we went from 726 to 645 and then dropping again to 639. This is largely because less people just list when the weather starts to change. It's just a known fact in real estate. So what we'll see is that to continue to happen. All right, so prediction number 2, buyer fatigue would continue, and then the homes that had more offers would see less offers. That did happen. And we're seeing lots of examples of that all over the place. We're seeing a lot of homes actually get to 5 or 6 days on the market and still be available or have one offer. That absolutely was not happening in the past few months. Okay, so number 3, we talked about the average sales price continuing to go up some more. And it did. So we went from 498,000 and some change to 505 and then to 514, $916 last month. And every month I like to bring you some historical context on this. So last year, it was 435,937. So that's an 18% increase, which is just way normal than your 30-year rolling average of about between 4 and 5%. So while we're on it with the numbers, because numbers are so fun, let me tell you the rest of them and give you my predictions for what's going to happen next. So a lot of people ask, how far are homes going over list price? So I'm going to share that with you right now because this is still a really important thing to know. All right, so the last 3 months, 103.7, 104, up to 104.1. So we saw this tiny little increase, which means that the numbers are still going up for how far people are writing offers above asking when they get accepted. So the other question that people ask is how many homes are actually selling, overall. And so I can tell you that we track this by the amount of pending homes that are going pending. And so as you can see in the last 3 months, this number did peak. So it went from 673 to 725 back down to 657 this last month, which is a 9% decrease. But if you look at what happened last year, there was 594. So it means that there are still more homes going under contract now than there were last year. So another number that proves this point is how many actually closed escrow. Same type of measurement, okay? So 605 to 617, again, a peak, right? Down to 613, almost the same number. But if we compare it to last year, it's up 15%. So still more activity, more homes actually, families moving into houses. So one thing that never changes, and it hasn't for months, is the speed at which the homes are going under contract. This is just because the market's in kind of that hyper mode right now of people listing homes, people still buying them. And overall, that number it's going to take a lot for that number to move. So as you'll see, it has been 5 days that it's taken the average home to sell now since January. Only 5 days. It means people are listing the home on Thursday. It usually sells on Monday or Tuesday. And to go along with that, the average amount of people going into the property before it goes under contract, that's staying constant too. So we're at a standstill for that, and we'll probably continue to see that happen for quite a while. So the predictions are actually pretty easy for this coming month. What we're going to see is it's going to get dark early, and the activity is going to start slowing down. Doesn't mean there's not going to be multiple offer situations, doesn't mean people aren't going to list and people aren't going to sell, but what it means is that the numbers will actually start to pull back further. So your new listings, your actives, your pendings, your solds, all of those numbers will start to decrease as we move into the winter. As this happens, when people are really serious, what we have to pay close attention to is that average home price may actually go up. Now it went up quite a bit in this past month, so I expect that rate to slow down a little bit. So we'll have to see how that shakes out. So you're probably wondering what to do, right? So if you are somebody who's thinking of selling, I'm not asking you to help me help you, but what you should consider is that a lot of people will not list their homes coming up into the winter. We get that question all the time. Should I list my home in the winter? Yeah, you absolutely should. If you need to sell it, you absolutely should. Don't worry about your grass not being green, because as you can see, there's going to be less activity overall, which could position you well when there's less competition. And if you're looking to buy, just know that interest rates are probably going to be going up and have been a little bit already. What that means for you, maybe you're that person looking for a house that's $550. Well, if that rate increases on you just a little bit, now you're going to be that person looking for that house at $500 or $450. And what does that do? How does that change your situation? Now maybe you don't want to buy that size of home in that price range or in that location. You might have to move further out. So it's really critical that you consider getting into the house now if you really need to. So thank you this month for sticking with me. If there's anything I can do to help you in a situation that you may be in, feel free to reach out.